I call upon all nations to do everything they can to stop these terrorist killers. Thank you. Now watch this drive.
All right, sorry about that. We've got so many people here that I think we are kind of melting the servers, which is a good sign. Obviously very excited to have Governor DeSantis make this. All right, great. Looks like we're ready to go here. All right, I'd like to welcome Governor DeSantis for this historic. We're just trying to get it going because there's so many people.
Now it's quiet. Now watch this drive.
I do want to air a grievance real quick because an hour and 34 minutes ago, you left a comment in Slack that said, "Ugh, I really am not liking Tailwind." And then I watched your green dot on Slack turn off, and then I watched the little Z come on because you left that comment and then you turned off notifications and closed Slack. You coward.
Yeah, so I dropped that bomb on you. Really how it went was we decided to start watching Breaking Bad because we just finished The Sopranos, and my partner has never finished watching Breaking Bad. And it's really annoying when I'm sitting there watching something and my phone just nonstop buzzes. And it's usually like Drew's rants and ravings. As soon as I said it, I was like, fuck, I know what's going to happen. Drew is going to go, but why? And blah, 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 and fire off like 10,000 fucking messages. And I'm like, no, I can't handle that. I know, but that's what he normally would do. Mm-hmm. That's what he would normally do.
If we're talking to our listeners right now, they have no idea what's happening.
No, they have no idea.
They know what Tailwind is.
It's garbage. That's what it is.
Tailwind is a CSS.
Listeners, the Tailwind is garbage.
It is garbage.
Tailwind is a CSS framework. So you write CSS, generally you write classes, which are just a collection of styles that you can apply to elements in your HTML that do things like set the spacing, the colors. What Tailwind does is it has a bunch of pre-built utility classes that are configurable and have variants. Its promise is that it speeds up the development of styling by giving you a lot of really good defaults. Well, if you don't know what you're doing, if you are just getting started, you have to learn it to be good at it.
No, see, that's the thing. No, stop. Fired. Right there. That is what I hate about it. You have to fucking learn their bullshit.
You have to learn moving?
What the fuck?
No.
Okay. I'm sorry that the industry didn't stop moving.
Shut your face. What I hate about it is that it doesn't speed up anything until you know all of their fucking short codes and whatnot. I could do everything that they're doing. Maybe not everything. Most of the things that they're doing, I could style faster myself than using their bullshit utility classes.
Probably, but if they're already there, why would you want to?
Because now I have to learn their decided way of saying things. And it's like sometimes it doesn't even make sense. Sometimes it does make sense, but sometimes it doesn't make sense. Like what they name things, and it's like okay. And there's like 20 versions of like height or something. It's like I could just put fucking height in and it'd be done. It doesn't speed anything up at all. It slows you down.
Well, no, it doesn't. There's a few other benefits to it.
Disagree. Sure. I'm sure there's some benefits.
So, one of them is composability. If you're using the same utility classes, you know for a fact you're not introducing any unused CSS because it...
Yeah, but you could write your own utility classes and at least know what it's doing.
I understand that, but think about like a team or like a larger project. Because most of your critiques, like I totally get it, like especially for like smaller individual projects. But if you are working on a team of a bunch of people, it's either Tailwind's utility classes or some other asshole's utility classes that you're having to learn and figure out and use.
The thing that I don't like about it, for the most part, is if I'm being serious, and less like opinionated, is I don't like the utility class thing.
Okay.
I don't think it's as useful as it's made out to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand, like, it's got less bloat than MUI does. I totally get that. But the thing that I do like about MUI or emotion, or not emotion, what is it?
Styled components?
It is emotion. No, it is emotion. Is that you're still doing regular CSS. You're still writing regular CSS.
This doesn't prevent you from...
No, but like that's what I'm saying. Like you're still writing these same things. It's a thing that you already know. You can jump into MUI and you might have to understand what the box component does. Sure. But once you know that, it's like you're still writing CSS in JS. You don't have to memorize someone else's page-long fucking like thing on height. Like I know what height is.
Well, no, I know,
it's
but it's also
I don't need H5 or H10. It's too much. It's
I wouldn't really mix it. Like I wouldn't mix it with like a component library. Like I wouldn't really mix it with
No, I know it's a completely separate thing.
No,
I totally get that.
But there's things that it does that something like a MUI or a Chakra also does, which is that it does give you those consistent design patterns, and it gives you a theme. It gives you a single source of truth where you can make sweeping modifications to things like spacing overall.
That's normal stuff, but you can do that with like just straight up.
I know you can write all of that in. You can write all that like. You can do this. You can do this things with emotion, but this is a solution that does not require any client-side JavaScript.
Right. I just feel it's a fad. It's just like Tailwind to me is a fad. It's the new kid on the block. It hasn't been around that long. One of our clients basically hands us SaaS, and that's basically the same thing. It's like somebody just handing me a file and saying, "Use this. Here's all my variables that I want you to use."
But that's going to happen like in any project that's more than one person. Like,
no, it's not.
What do you mean?
Like you're writing regular CSS in most things.
If you're on a team of like a bunch of people and you're all writing CSS, like you're gonna run into the same issues of miscommunication and having to look at other.
That's what code reviews are for.
CSS. Well, you're not. If you're onboarding somebody, that person is not going to look at all of the CSS of the other person. Like
if I'm onboarding somebody, they probably have no experience in this, and they're going to have to read their documentation, which is trash, by the way.
But there's a much higher chance that they'll like have an understanding of Tailwind, and also the documentation is, even if you think it's trash, it's going to be the documentation by this like maintained third-party library that has adoption in the millions. There's going to be more resources available to them on it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So
I get it. I just don't like it. I do not like it.
Different.
I just don't.
How much have you worked on it?
It has nothing to do with different. I'm accepting of different.
How much have you worked on it?
I was working on a custom app last weekend for several hours, and I played around with it a lot, in that. I just don't like it. I don't like it. It's one of those things I don't want to use.
Do you remember our first foray into TypeScript?
Yeah. Yes, I love TypeScript, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to.
But how did you feel about it originally?
I hated it. I liked the idea of TypeScript. Because I like types. Like I like coming from like C# and all that kind of stuff.
You were you were really like JSDoc, right? Like I know that you were very much into.
Yeah, I use JSDoc like nonstop.
Yeah, but I think that like having it just built into the stuff that you were doing, specifically the inference that you get, like you don't have to.
That is nice.
Yeah,
there are things in TypeScript, and I have definitely come around, and I'm team TypeScript now. I bitch about anything that isn't fully type safe and stuff, and I have to write all this nonsense just to cover someone else's ass on things. So that's great. I'm just
going to take down the date and time.
Yep, you can say it. It's fine. It's been a long time since I've admitted that I like TypeScript, but
no, I'm just going to take down the date and time that you said that you hated Tailwind.
That
it was garbage and that you would never like it.
It is garbage. I know. I'm one of those people that will say I hate something like right off the bat.
Oh, I totally get it.
What were you trying to do with it that you couldn't do with it?
It's not that I couldn't do anything with it. It's just that it took me too long to do the things that I wanted to do.
Because it's a new thing. Like I get like there's a learning curve.
I know, dude. You're sitting here just like, oh, class name. It takes all the fun out of it too. Oh, class name like this. Oh, what's the one for height? Oh, what's the one for this? What's the one
I'm trying to get that money.
Yeah, I could have done it faster if I just ignored Tailwind. And the fact that everyone's like sucking its dick lately is really bothering me.
You could say the same thing about yes, if you didn't know React, you could do it faster without React.
Everything's coming pre-packaged with Tailwind now, and it bothers me. Like, fuck you and your Tailwind.
You're just counterculture. You want to start a punk
band? It has
band?
nothing to do with that. I just don't like it. I cannot like it.
You don't have to like it. You don't have to like it.
No, but now you're forcing me to use it. And
I'm not forcing you to do anything. Listen, if you want to just drop random MUI components into the repo, I'll whatever. Fine.
It's random ones. Just
I won't die on that hill. I will silently patch them out, but I will not throw a fit.
When I was looking at this the other day, oh wait, this isn't even fucking Tailwind. The fuck is this?
I hate my imaginary idea of Tailwind.
No. I searched Tailwind just to bring it up, and it brought me
to Headwind.
No, it brought me to Shadcn/UI, which is a UI based on Tailwind.
Yeah, that kicks ass. Shadcn UI, mad props.
Really nice.
Mad props.
Yeah,
He just put it all out there.
It does look nice, but just plain Tailwind.
No, we'll officially shout this out
really
like on
do
our
anything.
in the stuff when we release it. But UI-shadcn.com, check that
It
out.
looks nice. Yeah.
Wonderful components, wonderful developer, lots of really cool stuff. He's also got a taxonomy repo where he basically took all of the new stuff in Next.js and their app directory, and it's like a kitchen sink kind of thing. And you can just see kind of a lot of ideas and like how he implemented different things, and it's very nice. It's very cool.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that other kind of bothers me, if I remember correctly. Oh no, this one's a little different. Jesus Christ, that is obnoxious. Their components. I had a hard time finding their actual components when I was looking at the documentation.
This is Tailwind.
Yeah.
Tailwind doesn't have.
Tailwind
UI has components, but Tailwind doesn't have components.
Yes, it does.
That's Tailwind UI, or that's their head.
Oh yeah. Tailwind UI. Where's Tailwind? Straight up. Fucking A. What is the fucking difference?
Tailwind UI is a bunch of pre-built components, much more similar to like a MUI, like a MUI. It's just, but you can like pay. That's how they make money. Like you pay for those.
Yeah, well, there are some on there that show you how to do things. Oh, okay, so when I click components, it takes me to Tailwind UI, right?
Yeah.
That's what it does. Yeah, so the docs is where I was. And then it has components in there, which you have to, it takes you to a whole different area and you have to pay.
TailwindCSS.com.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm looking at it. When I had this down to like a 50% window, it was obnoxious to use. Like just trying to find out the things that I needed. Because like I was on my laptop and
the search is pretty good. Do you have all the VS Code extensions installed?
No.
Like for autocomplete and stuff?
No.
Bro.
This was on my personal computer, man.
It autocompletes and you can like mouse over it and it just shows you exactly what the class is.
I'm sure if I want to use Tailwind, it's much better if I install all the plugins necessary.
Okay, so this is like being like, yeah, I tried React and I didn't really like it, but I did use it underwater, and I was.
It's not the same thing at all. That is not the same thing at all. So in order for Tailwind to be really good, you have to install the VS Code plugins. Is that what you're telling me? So you have IntelliSense for it?
It certainly helps. No, what are you talking about? Fuck off. It's like saying, yeah, I tried. Yeah, it's like really hard. I was trying to get into Svelte, but Microsoft Word, like, it just didn't have a lot of really good like syntax highlighting.
I don't know. It's all right.
The tooling is a huge part of it.
I will dive deeper into it. It's fine. I'm not a fan right now.
I get it. I'm just saying it's early. Give it a chance. You went into this expecting to not like it.
Yeah, I know. That main thing is just because, not that it matters to anybody but myself, is I absolutely hate just writing class names all over the place.
Okay, but
I don't like it.
But I really like shipping things.
No, I see. I see. I get it. Again, there's just, I don't know. There's just things I don't like about it.
And that's fine. But, and you can change them because it's configurable.
I just don't understand why there's so many of these utility classes that don't really add anything. It just changes shit. Okay, like all the flex stuff. It takes just as much time to write an inline style as it does to figure out how to do their shit.
I really disagree. Like once you know the syntax for like flex and grid in this, like to be able to just very quickly like do like nested layouts and stuff and not have to rewrite class names for everything or try to find a class name you already wrote and like repurpose it. That's pretty big.
No, if you're using plain CSS, I could understand then the benefit of this.
And think about
for that reason.
Yeah.
For that reason. But if you're not writing like straight plain CSS, I don't see the benefit of this over anything else.
I kind of tend to agree with you that the control that you have with a CSS and JS solution is pretty nice. I just think it gets really bloated really quickly. It
can, for sure. I don't disagree with you. But again, if you separate your stuff out right, and whatnot, it's not as bad as it.
For sure. And I totally get it. I think for me, like the reason that I'm appreciating it more than like the Chakra or the React is like, think about how much more transportable it is. You don't have to rely on emotion. And like, I know that obviously there's tooling, like it's got way more of a batteries included thing. It's not limited.
You're still relying on Tailwind itself though.
Sure, but that's a build step thing, right? Like that's not.
It is, but if you want like a purely like shippable component, like in isolation, you are pretty much just doing either standard CSS modules or you're doing CSS
but I think where Tailwind really shines is in large projects or like a lot of team members touching stuff because it gives you
if everybody knows it.
Right, but I mean that's true of any other piece of like technology, right? So but with like you could say the same thing where it's like, okay, yes, if everybody knows MUI or everybody knows Chakra or any of these things, But I like the fact that it's more restrictive. I think the restrictiveness of it is a benefit at scale. You can still break out of it just by writing regular CSS.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think one other thing, and this is just like, again, this is more of like a personal critique than an actual flaw with the system. It's hard to read.
I don't disagree with that.
If I'm looking at something and it's CSS and JS or just CSS, I know exactly what it's doing. Yeah. If I look at this, it's like, it's a fucking giant string.
I agree with that. So there's a couple, and
it's hard to parse. If you have a lot of team members working in this, not everybody's going to put those things in the same order. I'm looking at just an example for like reusing styles that they have on there.
There's a VS Code extension that'll reorder them automatically.
That's cool. It looks really nice.
It's actually a prettier config.
That's fine. It all looks nice if it's all in order and stuff, but if it's not, then it's hard to read. And,
I agree.
And like, you can't look at this quickly and just be like, what is this doing? I can see inline block, height 12, width 12. Some of these are like make sense, but it's just like, if it's all jumbled together, it's just a mess.
Couple things. The plugins are very nice because you can have ones that maintain a consistent order. There's plugins
I know. Like, so... But this is you telling me that like Tailwind is great if you install all these plugins and add all of this stuff. It's not good on its own. You have to install all this nonsense to make it good.
I can't believe you're making me install Node and NPM, and I got to get VS Code.
No, shut up.
And I got to I have to have an operating
not
system.
The same.
I have to install this whole fucking 50 gigabyte file just to write code.
He's going to operating system.
Yeah, that is apples to corned beef. That is apples to corned beef, and you know it.
Why can't
that is not
compared?
Arguing. That is not arguing.
I have to have a keyboard.
And I got to fucking
that is not
mouse even.
Bullshit.
You are not arguing in good faith, right?
Well, because you won't let me finish a goddamn thought.
I got to have a display. What the hell?
Yeah.
Okay. How about
Tailwind is really good. Tailwind is really good if you install all the auto config or the IntelliSense, and you install the plugins that allow it to reorder your stuff so it's more readable, and you install this plugin so that it actually autofills your stuff.
I'm sorry,
it's called fixes the problem.
Yeah, if you get all the stuff that fixes the problem with Tailwind, sure, it's great, Drew.
I'm sorry. Did you get into this? Did you get into this line of work because you dislike solving problems?
No, I got into this line of work because it's fun, not to like.
Do you mean
these problems?
Fun or easy?
Here we go.
Tailwind is easy as shit once you get good at it. The responsive helpers and like the hover state helpers and like those are all super nice.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure that's good.
And
it's relenting now. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck you.
Flippant.
It's not for everybody. Like, I want to put this out there for like the listeners. Tailwind is one of those things that is like a very contentious thing with developers. People like it really does.
All of these things are though.
They are, yeah, because we're fucking
everything that you've named. MUI is all of these things.
Yeah.
MUI like that, but that argument is always like, do you use a component library versus just regular CSS and JS type thing? It's not.
But even CSS and JS is a contentious.
Okay, but like how many component libraries are there? Like
there's
I know,
there's probably a ton, but I mean, there's like 3 or 4 that rise to the top.
Yeah, exactly. There's not that many that are like way up there that are very popular.
So my 3 favorites are MUI, Chakra, and Mantine.
I think I started using Chakra a while ago when you mentioned it, and then I stopped using it almost immediately for no reason.
I think they're all emotion based.
No detriment to it or anything like that. Detriment? Is that the right word? No. I don't know.
Chakra is like
wasn't Chakra and Mantine emotion based before MUI, right? Because MUI was actually a little later to the emotion base. It was
I thought MUI was always emotion based.
I don't know.
No, it definitely wasn't because there was a change.
Okay,
a major revision that brought it in.
We can solve this very easily.
4 to 5, right?
This is a very simple metric that we can use to determine whether or not a library is good or not. That is GitHub stars. So
no, that's subjective.
No, it's the objective. The objective measurement is GitHub stars and weekly.
It can't just
NPM
be the
downloads.
stars though. It has to be how many reviews as well.
No, it's just stars. Just stars. That's all I care about. So let's play it.
Because it's like if it's like 5 people and it's like 5, it's like, well, yeah, that's their parents.
Yeah.
Actually,
that's like why this podcast has like 5 stars.
I'm sorry. I've
our friends and family.
I've reviewed the GitHub stars for the various frameworks and libraries, and I've decided we should move on and play a different game.
Oh, Tailwind.
Oh.
What is it?
real?
3 stars? 2 stars?
No.
2.5 stars.
Do you know how GitHub stars are
2.5
measured?
stars.
I actually don't even know where the stars are.
So GitHub stars is basically just like a like on a repo.
Yeah, sure.
So
Well, I thought it was like still a 5, like a 5
No,
star.
it's just cumulative number, like number of people who click the star button.
Okay, so 68,000 stars.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
Never mind.
68,000. And you don't need to look at MUI. It's not conducive to my argument right now.
Okay.
but we can look at Mantine.
No, I'm gonna look at Mui.
Well, this is just a popularity contest then. This is exactly what I was.
That's how you know
describing.
it's good.
Yeah.
So Mui has like 20,000 more stars.
That's GUI. Yeah, Mui is like in the 87,000.
But
this is something I never pay attention to.
Chakra 32,000. Mantine 19,000.
That like I don't.
You know,
I don't,
actually, you want to measure. You want to measure issues. How many issues does?
That's not really fair either because.
Oh! Do you want to know why he said that? Do you want to know why he said that?
Oh, Mui has issues. Don't.
No. Number of issues in the repo. Issues on Material UI 1.3 thousand.
1.3 thousand.
Tailwind CSS 8.
Tailwind CSS has been out for like a year, man.
That's not true. That's not true at all.
A little longer than that. A little longer.
I'm exaggerating.
And just I want to just like
Mui has been
Mui has been out.
A lot
it also
longer.
has 16,115 closed. Like that's insane.
Okay, so there you go.
For the record, I don't actually believe that these are good measures of whether or not.
No, they're not.
No, neither of them
just,
are.
It is fun though.
Although I will say that Next.js was the first library to hit 100K. So, oh wait, was it? Maybe.
I love Next.js.
Yeah,
like that is one of those things that I just.
The first React library.
The first, I think it's the first repo to hit 100,000 GitHub stars.
Really? That's
GitHub stars.
No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. It might be just the first framework because Go.
There's just no way because
Go hit 100,000.
Yeah, you have like things that have been around for so long.
So anyway, guys, album on display. Like 4 hours later.
Yeah, that's all right.
I'm not done.
This isn't the first time
I'm not done.
talked for a half hour before.
No, it's okay. Drew, knowing you, I understand why you like the Tailwind. I do. I really do. And knowing me, I'm sure you know why I don't like it.
Yes.
So it's fine.
Because you're wrong a lot.
No, it's because you want to be the new kid on the block all the time. And
yeah, I got the cologne and everything.
Yeah.
Isn't Tailwind already kind of old for you at this point?
Yeah.
Isn't there
it's
something
good.
newer?
I like it because it's good.
Drew and like technology is like Leonardo DiCaprio and anybody over 25.
Oh, great. That's awesome. Thank you for that.
But that's what I'm saying. Isn't Tailwind getting a little up there?
No,
that's
it's
what
good.
I'm saying. It's a little old.
Because I will say this. I'm moving faster in Tailwind than I have with any other styling solution.
It's almost like you have a wind behind you, kind of like carrying you.
That's holy shit. Is that why they called it that? Oh my god.
And
what the
Carl
fuck?
sees it as more of like a wind in front of him that's slowing him down.
Yeah.
First release of Tailwind was 2017.
That's way
it's too old for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's good is the thing, and I like it a lot.
You can like it.
A lot of people do seem to like it.
Yeah, a lot of people do like it. I don't like it. This is silly of me. It's really silly. I really like that abstraction for some reason from Mui. I look at Tailwind and I'm just like, I don't want to write divs again. I don't want to
write a box component with Tailwind.
I don't want to write a regular div.
Write a box.
I gotta write a div first.
But just think about this. Because
I don't want to do that.
Since
I gotta use regular HTML elements like a peasant.
It hurts me when I have to ship JavaScript to the client now. Is the thing because of React Server components. So I try to do it as sparingly as possible. There's still times where it makes sense to do it. Obviously, like you have to have real interactivity that's like reactive. But I just try to avoid it. If that's one of the metrics I care about, Tailwind beats.
Tell you what, we're working on a project right now, and you've forced me into Tailwind on it, and I'm fine with that for now. When I can finally start working in it, I say like 2 months. I'll be working it probably within that time. Yeah,
easily. Yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I say 2 months from now, we can revisit how I feel about Tailwind.
Okay, that sounds good.
And if it's the same, you have to rewrite everything in something else.
All right, I'll write it, and I'll just do a create React app. And
no, we're still using Next.js.
No,
that's the wager.
Vue.
Right.
Vue is where it's at.
Oh yeah, Vue. We're gonna use Nuxt. We're gonna use Nuxt.
No, I actually don't really have any real reason to not like Vue, other than it's mostly just the one-to-one competitor with React. I think
It's
something
not
like
as good.
a Solid or a Svelte, they have kind of different patterns. You can make arguments for theoretically better fundamentals with signals and all that kind of stuff. I think one of the reasons React has so much staying power is it has a wider community. I think that has to do with the fact that while they continue to release new types of features, originally there was no JSX. It was just you had to call a create element thing. And then they introduced JSX inside of class components. And then they introduced functional components and then hooks, now React server components. But it's backwards compatible with all of it. So they almost never release breaking changes. The only one that really comes to mind is use effect.
I don't think they have released breaking changes, have they?
Use effect firing twice on mount is one. But that was
Is that a breaking change, or is that just a dev server thing?
It could be a breaking change if you don't want it to happen.
No, but I thought I read that React has never had a breaking change.
Yes, it happens in development with strict mode on. So technically, it's not a breaking change because it only happens in development. So okay, yeah, no, even stronger argument.
Yeah,
React has never had a breaking change. And
18 does. It says it comes with a few breaking changes. Well, depending on how you use it.
Right. You can use create element or a class component inside of a React server component. You shouldn't.
The server component thing is throwing me for a fucking loop, by the way. It is so weird.
That's what everybody seems to say.
Once you get your head around it.
Yeah, I'm sure once you get your head around it, it's like amazing. I was doing something like relatively simple, and just because of the way I'm used to building things,
you're probably overcomplicating it.
No, it's just that it shouldn't have been a server component.
Okay.
Really
you needed the client.
I needed the client, but it took me a long time to figure out that I needed the client.
Yeah,
that I had to put use client at the top, But it's just learning that new pattern, right? Yeah. Like, kind of make your components.
A lot of people are like kind of mad about that. A lot of people are like, it should have been like client by default, like opt in to like the server side stuff.
I kind of agree to that.
Well, the reason I don't agree with that is like, if you imagine you're releasing this version of React today, like React server components is like the first version of React. Your vision for it, like your theory around it, is that you should be shipping as little client side JavaScript as possible. So the default probably should be the thing that aligns most closely with that philosophy.
I can see that.
But it is of course annoying if you go into it with a lot of existing React experience. But once you get your head around it, I think for new people actually coming in fresh, I think it'll actually be easier to learn React.
Yeah, for sure. I think the thing that bugs me about it, and it's not like, again, this is a very minor thing, right? It's just that, like, I use Next.js every day, for the most part. I've, my main projects are in Next.js.
I sleep with it, used to it right by my pillow.
I have sex with it.
I put my penis in it.
So, but when I
it puts its penis in me.
I was saying the other day that I was just trying to work on something really quick. It was supposed to be a really quick thing, that I was just making just to use at home, and now it comes with Tailwind by default, and now it comes with like the server components.
Just don't
default.
Fight it, man.
No, it's just that like it's a bunch of stuff to like you just want to do something really quick.
You don't have to use it though, like you.
No, but everything is like it's different now.
If you don't like this country, why don't you just move out?
Why don't you just go? Why don't you just go over to fucking SvelteKit or Nux?
You know what I'm saying? Jesus Christ!
And you're like, go to Socialist Solid Start.
I'm not saying that like things shouldn't move forward and whatnot. It's just it does become a little frustrating when you're using something every day and then you download the same thing you've been using every day, and now it's completely different.
Because like I'm a person who agrees that this way, like I see and understand and agree with these movements, but I also at the same time understand that there's plenty about it that's subjective, right? Like I'm not saying this is like objectively, like there's trade-off, like anything in computer science, like it's just trade-offs, right? I happen to agree that these trade-offs beat the alternatives, but I don't like the idea that there is some objective thing that everybody, like Plato's forms, like there's some objectively perfect JavaScript framework or like programming paradigm in general that we're like just trying to get to. Like that's bullshit. We're just trying to figure it out. And so like everyone,
I mean, the web is just CSS, JavaScript, and HTML. DNS, why do we need to complicate
and HTTPS and HTTPS2 and fucking certificates?
No, I don't disagree with you at all. Like I said, it was a frustration of mine in that it has nothing to do with like Next. It has nothing to do with Tailwind at that point. It's literally just I wanted to build something. I wanted to build it fast. I downloaded the latest things, and now I'm no longer know the thing anymore.
I know current thing is I don't have it anymore. Well, and I kind of like in my overall seasoned career as an old soul.
Your 3 years of career.
I've been doing this shit since I was 16 years old. I've been doing this thing for 2 years, Carl.
And you're 19.
I'm 19 years
12.
old.
And you're 12.
I've actually been doing it for negative 4 years. Yeah. And I kind of separate like generally, and this is one of the reasons that like 9 to 5 was bad for me, is that like I tend to go through phases where I'm in my learn and grow era, and then I'm in my
pubic,
like what
like Picasso phases, like your blue period or something.
I was cutting my ear off.
He's in his like he told me one time that his mom once told him that you should grow where you're planted.
What?
And he wasn't.
He
growing
rejected
where he was
that.
planted.
I don't remember this at all. But you
told me that, yeah. You said it like really, like it was really kind of funny the way you said it too. You're like, I'm supposed to grow where I'm planted. I'm like, what?
And
like, it's very like,
I don't know. I mean, it sounds like something.
It was a softer side of Drew.
That sounds nice.
Yeah. Probably fucking around. If you, I
thought it was like your credo.
Okay, I'm gonna let you finish.
No, go ahead. I'm done.
There's like periods where it's like, oh, cool, new things are happening, and it happens to, of course, be in the fucking like end of spring, early summer when everyone's releasing new shit. And I'm gonna like learn all this new stuff. I'm not gonna do fucking anything productive, quote unquote productive, for like a month or two, and then I'll have my like where I actually make stuff phase with the new stuff that I learned. I do a bad job at parallel pathing those things. Like I learn a bunch of shit and then I use it, and I learn a bunch of shit and then I use it. And I'm in
with that.
I'm in that.
We're gonna
like,
be rewriting all the software we write.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. That is, and you know,
months.
But generally, and I kind of did that at the day job a little bit. Generally, I think stuff tends to be better for it. Is it worth it? Probably not. But I'm having a good time.
Ask Randy, when I first started at this company, well, I shouldn't say first started. Maybe when we were there for a few years and we moved down into the basement, you know, we had a few things, and every time Randy was like, we need to make some updates to this thing, and I'm just like, I'm just going to rebuild it. Yeah. He's like, no, we don't, you can't just rebuild it. I'm like, no, I'm going to rebuild it.
The dev urge to rebuild everything.
I didn't rebuild it all the time, but Randy had to talk me off the ledge of rebuilding things many times.
I've also, like, as I do that a little bit, like, I get slightly better fundamentals every time. Like, I start to understand more about, like, oh, why I like this thing more than that thing. And then those better fundamentals make it less likely that I'll want to fundamentally change everything.
The main project that I typically work on, not the one that I'm working on currently, you know, I used MUI and all that kind of stuff, and I thought I had a pretty good grasp on it. And, you know, I did for the most part. But using it again, I want to go and redo that thing so bad.
Yeah, because you know,
it's like, yeah, because I know better patterns with it now. I can bend it to my will at this point. The amount of hacky shit that I was doing in the other one, not that it's bad and that it doesn't work, it's fine. It's just that, like, I could make it so much cleaner using the new patterns.
Using Tailwind, yeah.
No.
Well, you were writing
basically using the styled method of creating the components for.
While you were writing pure CSS, I was studying the blade.
Yeah, you want to go back and rebuild things just because, like you said, you know, you learn better workflows, better patterns, better everything.
Yeah, but every time I get a little faster, I get a little better, and I like the stuff I make a little bit more. I'm comfortable with that being my journey. And I still
absolutely hate the things that I make, even though I'm getting better at it. I still,
and that's normal. And I think that's
every one of it.
I think that's a generally a positive trait in a developer if it's deployed correctly.
I just hate the projects that I'm working on.
Yeah, of course.
That's what I mean. I just absolutely hate the projects. I like the challenge that is coming with, like, this latest project, because even though it's been really stressful and on not only me but my entire family, I hate it, but I like the challenge that came with it.
Mm-hmm. You're doing things that have never been done before.
Yeah, I mean, but I have somebody that's like, you know, I'm kind of helping along as well, and that's a challenge.
Mentoring someone,
yeah, that is a new challenge for me. You know, so
never worked with Drew, so yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, Drew is a unique person. We were all better for meeting Drew, but unfortunately, I think we were. But
the jury's still out on that.
With that being said, it's, you know, I didn't have that opportunity to really mentor necessarily.
No one was mentoring Drew.
I mean, I taught him some things.
Carl taught me probably most of what I know about CSS.
Yeah, but as far as actually needing to be mentored, that is not a thing. Like, Drew could have learned CSS just by reading the docs on CSS.
Probably would have just skipped a Tailwind. I'm much better for meeting you guys, like just working with you.
Is someone dying? What's happening?
Being in that industry. Well, hold on. I'm working in like as much as it sucked ass working in an agency, as much as I like those people, like, you know, 50-50 shot on just like the other person on the other end of the Zoom call being in like a vamp, like an actual vampire. You know, like, for sure, that sucked. Like,
literally
needing to like be able to like respond to shit and like have thicker skin, and the sheer volume and like width of bullshit that you have to like deal with.
A lot of it, yeah.
Like, and most of it wasn't like even like technical challenges. It was basically like fucking
soft skill stuff,
getting
people
shit,
stuff.
Like, like getting shit over the line just from like a human engineering perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that shit, I think I'm much better for that. You also have both shown me like what working on a decent team even at like a large-ish company can look like. You know,
that's hard to find. To be honest, it's really difficult to find.
And I broke the band up, and I'm sorry for that.
But your next step is though. Your next step in learning is to now go work for a big corporation.
There you go.
Yeah, let me just ship me off to one of the clients.
Yeah, no, you got to go work at like GM or something like that.
Yeah, like a big,
like one of them.
It's always really funny, like when we all have to
red tape you got to go through, where they don't let you install anything. Like you have to use raw JavaScript and CSS.
No, that's gross. But the only reason JavaScript is good is because of the tooling in the community. Otherwise, it's an insane, crazy person language. All of that shit is like, it has definitely had a real impact on me as a person. Obviously, how could it not? I really appreciate you guys, and I would like to see the rest of my time to Randy.
Album on display, huh?
Album on display.
All right, so it's.
I don't know if it's a big black block.
No, it's not. It's not. Okay. So it's black and white. It looks black and white. Could be sepia, dark sepia. Looks to me like a messy bed.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some pillows and some blankets strewn about. Oh, actually, I think it looks like there's a woman in there lying down.
He knows what this is. He's just lying.
I swear to God, I've never seen this. I just caught the face.
You definitely do know what this is, but yeah, I'll believe you right now. As far as like,
yeah, I don't
actually know what it is.
No, yeah, I don't know what it is by the cover, but I can't tell what that thing is like above her face. Like it's got like it almost looks like I don't know, something out of like a Studio Ghibli film. Like it just looks like a black blob with a bunch of like white blobs, like almost like a ghost or something. I can't really tell what it looks like from here. On the upper left-hand side, it looks like maybe a light shining on the back wall or something like that.
That's a pretty good description so far.
Looks like a nightstand in the front with something on there. I have no idea what this is. Could you give me a genre? Is this gonna?
It's indie rock, but Baroque pop is what Wikipedia describes it as.
I guess math rock,
art pop, chamber pop.
Chamber pop?
I know this.
Chamber pop.
I know what this is.
You definitely know what this is.
Is it Sleigh Bells?
No, it is a band, but mainly it's the singer-songwriter that fronts the band, and she is definitely
Jenny Lewis.
Nope, she's got a very unique timbre to her voice.
Case?
No, we always used to talk about this being like sad rock kind of. It's amongst our 3 or 4 albums that were like, this is so depressing.
Oh, fuck.
That we'd play frequently.
Perfume Genius?
Similar.
No. Yeah, I honestly don't know if I know this one, to be honest.
You do.
Okay.
English.
Drew, you got any guesses?
English songwriter, piano player, but New York-based band, strangely. Very funny spelling of this androgynous first name. Typically it's a man's name, but...
Drew.
Sam something?
So it's something and...
DRU.
Something.
Hootie and the Blowfish.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Just start with an F?
It's not that. No, it doesn't start with
What's the first letter?
Do you want me to tell you the album name?
Sure.
I mean, then you can just Google it, though.
I'm not going to Google it.
I Am a Bird Now.
It's a good name.
Fuck.
And that is a lyric from...
It's a good name. Like, I'm amused by
What's
it.
the first letter of the band name? Or
the first letter of, like, just the first letter in general? A.
Yeah.
It's actually the first one in my indie rock selection.
I don't think I know this
This is the first album in it.
All right, let's move on. I don't know it.
Okay, should I keep on
give more
giving
hints?
guesses?
If we don't get it, Randy should just not tell us what it is.
That's funny. That would be funny.
First single, and also the first track is called Hope There's Someone. Hope there's someone I can tell.
Oh my God, it's Antony and the Johnsons.
There you go, perfect.
How the
I nailed the voice.
Yeah, it was the voice that did it. I have no idea. I had no idea.
Yeah.
If you would have said, "You are my sister," I would have guessed.
Yeah, that's on there too. Yep.
I would have guessed that immediately.
Yeah,
Oh
You Are My
God.
Sister has Boy George guesting on it, doesn't it? Isn't it that one?
I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Jesus
Boy
Christ.
George guests on.
I had no idea
You Are
Boy
My
George
Sister.
guessed on that.
Yeah, Boy George sings the it's like a call and response kind of thing, one verse versus the other verse.
I had no idea.
Yeah, so Antony leads the band. She spells her name different than what actually appeared on this album now, but nonetheless, a bunch of guest stars on it, a few covers. Yeah, it's just really fantastic. I mean, I think the term Baroque pop or chamber pop is very fitting.
Yeah.
It's like a really stripped down band, or very stripped down instrumentation. Basically,
I don't know if I
Antony
would
plays
call it
piano.
pop, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's still like pop songs. You know?
Yeah, but like, what's a pop song? You know, I don't know. Like, I mean, obviously the term pop,
Tailwind
right?
CSS.
The term pop, you know, obviously is supposed to mean a certain thing, but
popular is all that it really stands for.
and
but
they're not that popular.
yeah, but at the same time, I mean, well, actually, they are in the UK.
I can
think
see
they were
that.
charting and stuff. But I always used to relate it to your verse, chorus, verse, your pop song. You know, like they're not classically
somewhat formulaic.
It's not like jazz, which can just go off into areas that are musically, just wild areas or what have you, and a lot of improvisation and what have you. It's not classical, which could have like 20 movements throughout a piece or whatever. It's your standard, yes, kind of formulaic, kind of predictable, but still challenging. I mean, it can still be very Antony and the Johnsons, I think at times can challenge the listener. I mean, that very unique voice, very unique kind of approach.
Antony
sometimes challenge you not to slit your wrists.
Yes. Antony is a what? Male to female? Transgender?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Officially after this album came out.
Okay.
And a hit song.
Still
Don't
goes by
kill yourself, idiot.
She still goes by Antony.
Okay.
But yes, officially was transitioning during this period. So this is the second album by the band, and my favorite by the band, but really fantastic songwriting. And it has a Rufus Wainwright cover on it as well. What Can I Do, which is really good. And again, bunch of guests. Devendra Banhart, folk, like freak folk, alt folk guy, guest on it. Lou Reed sings on it. So, I mean, just a plethora of very
Which album
good
is it again?
music. I Am a Bird Now.
I'm over it now. Okay. Yeah, I think we have listened to this, haven't we?
And not that awards mean anything, but it won the Mercury Prize. And
How many
which is
GitHub stars?
pretty prestigious. I'm really not sure. All Music gave it 4 stars.
Tailwind has
that's
68,000.
Critically acclaimed, I would say, for sure.
I've been told that
I don't think I've ever heard it. I need to listen to it.
the overlay
It's really good.
of the music is a dead giveaway sometimes, and it's not as fun.
Okay,
I've been told that, but I've also
disagree.
been told that we understand that we're trying to, appeal to 2 different audiences at the same time.
I'm assuming I know who's making that criticism, and that person probably knows the stuff that we're talking about.
That person worked in a record store as well.
So if someone who doesn't, like, I would say our average listener, and listeners, leave us a voicemail and correct me if I'm wrong on this. I'm assuming our average listener is not familiar with 95% of the albums that I'm showing here.
It's possible, yeah.
We only have one audience. That's human beings.
Earth is our audience.
That's all.
Artists are audience.
And we're not limited.
just
if extraterrestrials want to tune in, by all
Well,
means.
that's why our iTunes categories includes cooking, and science fiction and true crime.
Drew, I don't know where you're at as far as the wedding planning, but if you're looking for music, there could be a couple tracks on this album that could be perfect for couples only dance. I don't know.
And if you're looking for a live band, Randy and the Bell Beat are really, really looking for.
I kind of just assumed that was in the bag already. We have it the stuff all set up.
So if anyone's looking for an indie rock band to play at your wedding, hit up the Bell Beat, thebellbeat.com.
I'm going to show up like Jack Black in High Fidelity, where they just he just cuts into a Marvin Gaye song or whatever. I'm really trying, baby.
Do we have time to do an
everyone's expecting the
Jack
worst.
Black is a national treasure.
Have you guys seen the Super Mario Brothers movie
Not yet.
where he plays Bowser?
No, but I heard it's like amazing.
Did you see?
It's funny.
Did you see the
funny.
interview with him where they were talking to? It was the cast was there, Chris Pratt and everything, and it's their close-ups on the actors and everything. And they're asking, so you excited? What did you like about it? And then the interviewer asked, so Jack Black, did you enjoy playing Bowser? And it cuts to Jack Black, and he's in a full Bowser suit, he's wearing a Bowser costume. He's like, yeah, I loved it. This is the role of his lifetime. He is so fucking hyped. And
he does a solo piano piece in the movie
Really?
It's like singing to Princess.
So he just goes
Peach.
hard.
I'm not blowing anything. There's no spoilers here.
It's like
and
it's like Phil Collins going way harder than he
pours
needed
his
to
heart out.
on the Tarzan track.
Wasn't there?
I watched it with my son, and my son is playing that on YouTube like over and over. He's like, "This guy can't sing." I'm like, "He's actually a really good singer."
Yeah,
Like,
he actually is a really good
Wow,
singer.
you guys are supposed to be a leftist podcast, and yet you like mass market movies. If they're good,
I mean,
if they're
it's not a cinematic masterpiece, but it's good.
Fuck off.
It's fun.
I mean, it's got to be better than the original Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh yeah, with John Leguizamo and what's his face?
I don't even know.
you guys are just racist.
I heard. Were you telling me, Drew, that there was actually, with those same interviews, it was like most of the cast was like, "Yeah, I'm just doing it," you know. It's kind of like a friend of a friend.
They're kind of embarrassed by it. Like they're embarrassed to be in a Mario movie.
Jack Black is
Why?
like, "This is like the best role
Because
of my
they were
career."
so goddamn self-conscious.
Jack Black had more of a speaking role than anyone in the movie, I think.
He fucking
I
earned
gotta
it.
watch it. I gotta watch it. I just like I think it's on Amazon right now. Like I think I
You
saw
can
it
buy
there.
it or rent it. Yeah,
You can rent it.
Yeah, you can rent it.
That's what I wait for. Because like
I just bought it
originally-
because I know my kid. My kid's super into Nintendo stuff right now. He's really into the Mario board maker. Mario Maker, is that what it's called?
Mario
where
Maker.
you can
Mario
actually
Maker
make
2?
levels.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
two.
maybe Mario Maker 2. He's obsessed with like creating his own games. That's what he does with Minecraft essentially.
Yes.
So when he discovered this, it's like, oh my god, I can make a Super Mario Brothers 1 game, or he calls it Super Mario Bros. I can do a Super Mario Bros, Super Mario Brothers 2, 3, and and all the different. I can make wall jumps, and yeah, he's
I
Dude,
credit.
just making these.
There's some
crazy
crazy
levels.
stuff that people create.
Yeah,
Like crazy.
for
And
sure.
then what's even more crazy is the people that do them.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not kidding. I'm not
do
kidding.
you know Video Game
like
Donkey?
speed runs on them.
No, not the speed runs. Just even being able to complete some
To be able to
of them.
complete it
yeah,
all.
yeah.
Have do you guys know about Video Game Donkey on YouTube?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So one
Video
of
Game
his Video Game Donkey. He's
Yeah.
a YouTuber. He's like very funny YouTube. He's got his like, very unique style to the gaming YouTube videos. And
It's no
one of the-
longer unique because everybody wants to.
well,
be
everyone copies him and shit, but that's the platonic ideal of that style of video. One of the things he does is like those extremely ridiculous Mario Maker levels. And there's one where it's like you have to get it like pixel perfect, like every goddamn
Oh
jump.
jeez.
And it's like there's no like time to breathe either. Like you have to get it pixel perfect and timed perfectly. And it's
Have you guys
Have you
ever
seen-
played Geometry Dash?
No.
it sounds like
It's
a cool
just like a
math game.
side scroller, but it's the same concept where you can create your own levels.
Okay.
You have to have some other player, I don't know if they call it qualify. It's like a QA step where they have to make sure it's actually beatable.
Yes, yeah. Somebody had.
And these things are amazingly difficult. And my kid's really into that as well.
That's cool.
And he's uploading a few and stuff. And it's like, it's really, really neat because
Will it
it
show
gives you
you
all
like
the parts and
the
everything.
complete rate?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And some
that's
of them are
always
just
abysmal.
brutal.
Like you
I saw
But
one of those.
the thing about it is it gives you the timeline of the music that you layer. The music is very important to the level design typically, and it gives you the waveform so you can actually time the jumps with the music. But
okay.
typically the music, the tracks that you pick would have tempo changes. You know, that literally physically go from 120 beats per
I
minute to
might
like
actually
150.
know what this
and it's
game
like,
is.
oh my god, this is throwing me off so much.
Yeah, I'll lose my
I have
mind.
no idea what's happening. And the mechanics of it, you hit certain like power ups, and you'll change from just like a jumping thing to a ship, or
Oh, that's not a power up. That's just a section. I played this.
yeah,
My
or
kids
you,
were
or you
huge into
gravity. Like you'll get pushed to the top or pushed to the bottom. Yeah,
Yeah.
my kid is still obsessed with this.
That's a fun game.
Yeah, he loves a bunch of the music that's been popularized through the game, and he has like playlists and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
When you started describing it, I was like, oh, wait, I think I know what this is. Especially when you started talking about the music, because that's
also
one thing that I
pronounces-
noticed when I was playing was the pulses. Like,
yeah, he pronounces
on the-
geometry a little off, so that's
Yeah.
funny as well.
Have you guys ever seen that that Mario Maker game
Geometry.
that somebody made?
Style game.
No, just Mario Maker, the one that this guy did, where literally you have to juggle a turtle shell and
Yeah, I
jump
have
off
seen
of
that.
it,
I have
jump
seen
off
that,
of
yep.
it, bounce it off something, get it again, jump it off it again. And it's
ridiculous.
Like the whole freaking thing. I was like, oh my god! Like, one, why would you do that? And two, why would you want to attempt to beat that? Like, why? Why do you want to do that to yourself? Like that? How many controllers did that person go through You know,
I don't
like
even know.
playing that, because I'm not like one of those people that are like to throw controllers or get mad, and I get frustrated and I set things down. But I feel like that would make me throw a controller.
Geometry Dash gets me really frustrated. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't even. It just takes so much, like the visual stimulus. It's like I don't even know what's happening right now.
You know what I think your kid would like? I think your kid would like the new Zelda, the Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, he hasn't played the old Zelda either.
Doesn't matter.
Right now, he's into building games more than actually consuming them or playing them. But yeah, I think he would.
You got to get him.
The only reason
I could get him into it.
The only reason I think he would like it is because the new one, it allows you to basically.
It's got some Minecraft stuff in it, right? Like where you can actually build stuff.
Like it's got an ability that lets you kind of like stick things to anything. So like you're making like dual weapons, like random crazy weapons or random shields, or
there's like batteries in it and stuff.
Yeah, there's batteries, there's fans, there's flames throwers,
He was really into the Bad Piggies too, which is like that Angry Birds sequel where you could build levels and stuff. Yeah.
The only thing is like that's just like one aspect of the game. So if he's not really into playing the game, it's probably not worth it, because it's.
I have to always let him discover these things on his own.
Oh, I've learned that. Yeah.
I can't force anything.
Mm-hmm. Do you have this? When you first learned that, like, you know, you probably went through that same phase where you were like, you should try this if you like doing that. It's really cool. And they're like, no. Maybe like a couple years later, they're like, have you ever heard of this thing? And you're like, you mean the thing that I fucking told you about?
That's what I did. That was Mario Maker. That was like, it was like a month ago. He discovered it. I'm like, dude, I was trying so hard to get you into that game.
Yeah. You ungrateful fuck.
Shit.
Yeah, it's both.
You think
like
you know
maddening.
The world?
It's both maddening and also kind
I was
of like
trying
awesome.
to spend $60 on.
I know.
Or whatever,
if you can, like, if you just like get him to like watch a YouTube video with somebody who likes playing Halo. One of the things that I credit to like me wanting to do the type of stuff I do, and I probably have mentioned this before, is Halo 3's Forge mode. It would like bridge the gap for me, like, because I wasn't good enough to like play the game itself competitively when I was like 10, but I could make cool shit. I could get a rocket launcher and I could make.
Is that game really that old?
2007.
Wow.
It came out when I was.
I Am a Bird Now, Antony and the Johnsons, 2005. 18 years old.
Wow.
Which is shocking to me.
Yeah, that is shocking.
And that's our show.
That's our show. I was going to say it. That's our show.
Blood?
No.
Blood Story?
Nah.
I mean, if you want to mention
You're
the
not
Blood
interested
Story.
in the Blood Story?
Oh, you know what? What about that Chat GPT versus whatever the other one was?
Bard. We do Chat GPT versus Bard real quick? Do we have time?
No, we don't have
We
time.
don't have time.
God damn it.
I actually got invited to another one of Google I/O's announcements. I forget what is it? New AI thing.
Palm 2.
Yes, I got invited to that as well.
2 AI.
But it's
API
it's
access?
Let me check. Well, maybe not right now, but I'll check in a few.
Because if you got API access, we could play with that.
Check later. I'm going to bed. That's our show.
Yes. Well, I have
that's our show,
access
Randy.
To apply.
I have to still apply.
We have a podcast. You're listening to it. We have a YouTube channel. How does it go?
We have a website and a store that's going to be live on Monday.
Yeah. We have a YouTube channel.
There's a couple things in the oven, Randy.
Crime.
Including a store that's going to be live on Monday.
It's in there, but it's like...
We have a shared playlist with all of the songs from
live on
Randy's album on display.
Live on Monday. Check it out. Look for it on Monday.
I actually really want to do that.
Monday?
Some of the stuff that you pull up doesn't actually exist on Spotify.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Mostly because I
cuts.
feel that they have these issues with the payment thing.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
The licensing, the rights, and everything. Yep. All right. Well, yes, all those things are true, and that's episode 34.
Wow, 34.
Yeah. Sorry about missing a week.
I'm not sorry.
I
was
working.
It's
Carl's fault. It's Carl's fault.
It's Drew's.
I was working 80 hours a week, and I just needed sleep. Actually, I think I was still working during last time.
Yeah, I think you were.
It's not Carl's
Yeah,
fault.
I think I worked till 2 a.m. that.
I know. I actually called it for you. So
we should do something about that.
Like
we should.
Like what?
Like put a store up.
Merch. I put my foot down. Did I tell you guys I did? I know Randy knows this, but I put my foot down and I told our PM, I was like, I'm gonna make an announcement in the channel, but I don't want you to be blindsided. She goes, she goes, are you gonna quit? I said, no, I'm not gonna quit, but I'm no longer willing to work more than 40 hours a week. she's like, no, I fully support that.
It's good.
On that note,
We love you.
we love you.
Now watch this
Bye.
drive.
So we have to protect our juniors.
We're not selling anybody's data.